Good morning. Welcome back. Things not seen. He just got off the phone with Sheila, talking to her about that and how she was also invisible. She seemed different though. She seemed like she was comfortable with it after 3 years. So, chapter 24, first class work. Any physics nut will tell you that there's never nothing. I've been hearing this from Dad all my life. Now I get it. For example, split the atom and you get neutrons and electrons and protons. Keep splitting and you get neutrinos and quarks and muons and antiquarks and mesons, on and on and on, smaller and smaller and smaller. Less and less mass, more and more energy. It all gets down to the little things, like 2 blankets, 2 cities, 2 dates, 2 people. After I talk to Sheila, I don't see how the facts can add up to anything. But it's never just about the facts. Sherlock Holmes proves that, case after case. It's all about what you do with the facts, how you look at them. When I do an instant message to Alicia on Wednesday afternoon, she starts right in asking me a million questions about Sheila. How did she react? What did she sound like? Was she happy? Does she have a boyfriend? Is she excited about finding someone else like her? On and on. Instant messaging with Alicia takes forever. It's not the connection because she's got one of those lines that always connects. It's because the text-to-speech function on her end has to say everything out loud before she can type back an answer. I finally have to shut her off because I just need to think about what to do. But Alicia doesn't want me to think about it. She wants me to call my dad and tell him the news, and then have my dad call her dad so they can talk about it. So now this is the text messaging going back and forth. So Bobby. When I say the name, that's who's typing it. Bobby. No can do. I promised Sheila I wouldn't tell anyone about her except you. I told her I had to tell you. Alicia. Had to? Why? Bobby. Isn't that obvious? Alicia. Maybe. Tell me anyway. Bobby. I told her I wouldn't lie to you. Alicia. So touching. Still, you have to tell your dad and my dad. They can help. Bobby. I'll think about it. Alicia. Don't think, do. Time's up. It's time to do. Bobby. Don't be bossy. Alicia. Do. Bobby. Gotta go. Alicia. Coward. Bobby. Am not. Alicia. R2. Bobby. Am not. I don't want to break a promise. Alicia. So just give the dads the info. Don't give the source. But they have to have the info and maybe more. You might have to call your girlfriend back and talk real nice to her. All kissy. Bobby. Ha ha. Funny. Alicia. So call your dad, okay? Alicia. Okay. Alicia. Bobby, you answer me. Bobby. Okay, bossy. Alicia. Flattery will get you nowhere. Bobby. I'm already nowhere. Alicia. So true. Bobby. Bye. Alicia. Let me know. Promise? Bobby. Promise. Bye, bossy. I start to dial Dad's number 3 times, and 3 times I stop. I found this woman, not him. It's my discovery, not his. But after I wrestle with it for about 5 minutes, I know I'd be stupid not to tell him. And I'll still be the one who found her. That's not going to change. When I reach Dad at his office and tell him, he almost goes nuts. What? You're kidding. This is fantastic, Bobby. Hold on. I got to shut my office door. Then comes the hard part because he wants to know everything, but I'm not telling. Dad, I promised to protect this other person. So all I know right now is that it happened in Denver, Colorado on the night of January 12th, 3 years ago, and the same kind of blanket was being used. And this person is about how old? Does that matter? Could, Bobby. Everything could matter. Like what kind of house it happened in. Any other appliances in the room? The exact location of the house. Everything could be very important. Well, all I can tell you right now is the date and the year and the place. If we need more, I could maybe call her back and... Aha, so it's a woman. See, that could be important. Because men and women have different chemical makeups, different muscle densities. We need more data, Bobby. The more, the better. Dad's giving me the 3rd degree major interrogation, and it really ticks me off. For the past few years, I've just been gritting my teeth and kicking my door and swearing under my breath at him about stuff like this. I know he's excited, and I know that the guy lives for data, but here I am, and I'm telling him I've made a promise, and he acts like that doesn't matter. I'm about to shout something and slam down the phone, but instead, I get this calm feeling and I say real quiet like, Dad, this lady wants to stay out of all this, and I promised her I'd respect that. So I'm not telling anyone, not even you. When I make a promise, it has to be real. I guess I must have sounded like the president or something, and it's so quiet for a second that I think maybe he fell off his chair. Then he says, of course, you're right. Sorry, Bobby. We'll work with this and see where it leads us. Quite right, son. Have to keep your word. And it's like the whole world has shifted about 10 feet to the right. I'm not where I used to be, and I see it. And Dad sees it too. And he sees me seeing him see me. Anyway, he says he's going to call Leo. That's Professor Van Dorn. And he'll talk to me tonight when he gets home. Then he says, I don't know how you located this woman, Bobby, but it's not a small thing. This is first-class work, son. First class. And it's the tone of his voice that gets me. He doesn't say, I'm proud of you. He doesn't use those words, but that's what I hear. My dad's proud of me. Chapter 25, Bingo. Relational database analysis. I had never even heard those words until Dad comes home from the lab and starts making dinner on Wednesday. He's got my invisible hands busy chopping celery and carrots while he cuts up chunks of chicken for a big pot of soup. And he's gushing about his talk with Dr. Van Dorn. The professor says he was sure the blanket was part of the cause, and he's all excited because he says he can do tons of research just using those 2 dates and the 2 locations. And that's because of this relational database thing. Condensing 15 minutes of Dad talking as fast as he can into about 4 sentences, this kind of data hunting is basically like using an internet search engine, except it's more precise and it uses monster computer power, like Cray supercomputers, the real deal. So you load in your data, you give the search program some clues about what sort of results you'd like to look for, and then you push a button. And it combs all these scientific articles and catalogs of events and phenomena and facts and theories, and if anything matches up anywhere in the scientific records, in any language, anywhere in the world, it finds it and spits it all back at you. It's pretty cool. But you have to know how to program the thing, or else you get swamped with junk data. And who's one of the top people of doing this kind of search? Our pal Dr. Van Dorn. And an hour and a half later, when we're just sitting down to eat homemade chicken noodle soup, the doc himself is pounding on our front door. He walks right in, puts his old briefcase on the dining room table, yanks it open, and pulls out a stack of wide green bar computer paper. His eyes are wild, and he's talking so fast that little bits of spit are flying around. This has got to be what we're looking for. I ran the search 4 different ways, 4 different sets of parameters, and the same data from the ACE spacecraft project kept showing up. Ready? Solar wind. January 12th and February 23rd, 3 years apart, and on both dates, the upper latitudes of the U.S. from the Rockies to the Great Lakes were strafed by a major burst of accelerated solar particles and radiation. The kind that knock out power grids and send the big jets diving for lower altitudes. Not true solar maxima or anything, but the bombardment on both dates was way, way up on the scale, and the Earth's magnetic field was significantly distorted. So, Dad is looking over the professor's shoulder, nodding, his dinner napkin still tucked into the collar of his blue dress shirt. So this blast of high-energy particles cuts through the exaggerated electrical field caused by the faulty blanket controller, and bingo! No more Bobby. Exactly, and of course, we don't really know how or why, and we're a long way from really understanding the interaction of the forces, but I'm almost certain we know roughly what caused it. We've got a strong electrical current field, magnetic disturbances, and an extreme particle flow. It has to be it, don't you think? Has to be, Dad is nodding, and his eyes have that faraway in physics land look. Mom asks what I'm thinking. But, Leo, how can we reverse the process? How do we get things back to normal? And how do we do it before the police come to haul us away? Dad and Dr. Van Dorn look at each other just for a second, and it's like they're holding this high-level silent conference, and I see everything, and it's almost like I hear them talking back and forth. Incredibly complex, possibly years just to develop a workable theory. Hundreds of variables to isolate and test, not to mention questions about body chemistry and environmental factors. I can see this kind of stuff flashing through their minds. Then Dad says, hard to say, Emily. Maybe a week, maybe longer. And the look on Dr. Van Dorn's face says, maybe years. And I see it all. I can't take it, and I'm not hungry anymore. I push my chair back and stand up. You're not being honest, neither of you. Even if you found the cause, really figuring it out and reversing it could take forever. And we don't have forever. I am now wanted by the law in 2 states, and Dad isn't going to get to do much research in jail. So tomorrow we call that lady and we get her over here and we tell her. Then we tell the university and the people who run Fermilab. Tell everybody. Show them. Then we don't have to act like criminals. Then there'll be tons of research money and facilities, and we can really figure this thing out. Good idea or bad idea? Dad looks at me, at the space above my collar where he guesses my eyes are. And there's so much sadness in his face. Bobby, Dr. Van Dorn and I discussed this situation when we spoke this afternoon, and we both decided that we do not want this to become public. Not ever. It's too dangerous. I mean, it's not like the Manhattan Project or anything, not like developing a nuclear weapon. But still, this kind of science can hurt people. Do we want invisible soldiers and police and spies all over the place? Or invisible criminals? Can you imagine the level of security we'd all have to live with if this technology becomes widely known? And even more important, do we want to sacrifice any chance for you to eventually have a normal life again? We've each promised to keep this an absolute secret, just our two families. The business with the police will go away. It has to. They can't prove anything. No motive, no crime, no evidence. Your mom and I talked, and really, all we've done wrong is lie about you going to Florida. And we can just say we did that because you'd run away, and we wanted you to have time to come home without any penalties or had effects on your record at school. Parents can't be punished because a kid decides to run away from home. So we just have to change our story. I'm sure this is the best way. We're all sure it is. During this speech, it's like I'm in a time machine. All I hear is what I've been hearing for 15 years. Everyone else has decided what's best for me. They're all sure. They've made up their minds, and now they're telling me. They're telling me how they've decided my life will be. I'm a runaway. I'm a fugitive. I'm a milk carton kid. I'm officially missing. They've decided. My jaw muscles tighten. I feel my face twist. I feel my hands clench. They have such a grand plan for me. I want to scream. I want to froth at the mouth and swear and stomp my feet and break up some chairs and throw chicken soup all over the place. And I want to yell, "It's my life! You can't leave me out of the decisions about my own life! You are not in charge here!" But I control myself, and in a calm voice I say, "I think I need to get some rest. I'll eat later." As I leave the table, Mom looks suddenly worried, and Dad looks confused. Dr. Van Dorn seems embarrassed, so he looks down at his precious stack of data. And I'm alone in my room. Alone. Mom and Dad are down there, spoons clinking on their bowls, ladling out soup for their uninvited dinner guest and their fellow conspirator. And I'm alone. Okay, chapter 26, night shift. When I wake up, my alarm clock tells me it's 11:37 p.m. So from the time I lay down on my bed to now is almost 4 hours. All I meant to do was think a little. Instead, I've had 4 hours of freedom. 4 hours of not being furious with my parents and Alicia's dad for trying to tell me how they're planned out the rest of my life. 4 hours of not beating my brains against a wall trying to figure out what to do next. 4 hours of not worrying about being this way forever. Sleep is the great escape. Mom must have been here because someone has taken off my shoes and the down comforter is tucked around me. Mom and Dad looked in to make sure their little baby Bobby was all right. My eyes are wide open. Street lamp light streaks around the edges of the window shades. The night light in the bathroom paints a thin yellow stripe at the bottom of my bedroom door. The furnace blower comes on, runs about 3 minutes, and then stops. The whole house is quiet, and I hear a bus making its last run on the street out front. Lying still in the dark, I try to imagine that everything is normal again. I'm just a high school kid. Soon it'll be a regular Thursday morning, and I'll get up and eat breakfast and catch the bus for school. I'll doze through math, avoid speaking in French, try to look smart in English, eat lunch with Kenny and Phil, play my trumpet in the jazz band during sixth period, and after school I'll go to the library and listen to some rare Miles Davis cuts. But I know all of that is a lie. Nothing is normal. I replay Dr. Van Dorn's visit to our dinner table. 2 things stand out. First, that ACE spacecraft. It's what collects the data he found about the 2 dates. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of billions of things. Truth is, I know practically nothing, except how to take almost anything that happens and make myself feel stupid because of it, which is what I'm doing right now. The other thing I recall is the quick look Dr. Van Dorn and Dad passed between them. It was a secret look, the kind people exchange when what they're doing or thinking is just too terrible for words. They exchanged a look when Mom asked about reversing the process. Dr. Van Doren doesn't believe it's possible. He thinks there's no going back. Move over, Sheila. Make some room in the lifeboat for Bobby. Rolling off the bed, I land softly on my feet. The hallway is faintly lit, and I can tell Mom and Dad are asleep. Their turn for some freedom. I tiptoe down the back stairs, go through the kitchen and dining room to the den. The computer sounds like a diesel truck starting up, but I know it's not really that loud. The browser opens up, and I get to the search page, and I punch in ACE spacecraft. And there it is. Pictures and everything. ACE stands for Advanced Composition Explorer. This thing is about 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, feeding a constant stream of data to a bunch of ground tracking stations all over the world. Scientists in Japan, England, India, the US, they're all looking at information from 10 different instruments on board. I click on the real-time solar wind data, and I'm plugged in. I got graphs and tables and news from outer space, and the thing is updated every 15 minutes, like the reports about traffic on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Then I click on a link for SOHO, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, and it's another satellite up there in the sunlight, and there's a blinking alert on the screen next to a block of text. The Earth's environment is currently bombarded by high-energy particles accelerated by a powerful solar eruption last night. A strong flare and coronal mass ejection were observed by the SOHO instruments. The flux of high-energy protons near Earth now is 100,000 times greater than normal. This is the fourth largest proton event in the past 3 years, and will likely continue at or above the current level for the next several weeks as we approach the solar maximum. And the date on the news release is 11:45 p.m., February 24th. And there's been an update every 24 hours right up to yesterday. The bombardment has slowed down during the last month, but not by much. So what I'm reading about here on the screen, this is still going on now. And it makes me smile. I wish I had a cat or something. I'd wrap it up in my magic blanket and poof, invisible kitty, which would be tough on the neighborhood birds. I close the browser, open up an instant messenger window, and click on Alicia's screen name. So now what are you thinking? I'm thinking he's thinking this alert has come along at just the right time. Now they're texting back and forth. So now when I say the name, that's who's texting it. Bobby, hey Alicia, you awake? In about 30 seconds, the program chimes back at me. Alicia, hey yourself, too loud. Stop till I turn down the sound. Alicia, okay, how are you? Bobby, been better. How come you're still awake? Alicia, duh, your message woke up my computer and the thing starts talking to me. But I wasn't sleeping anyway. My sleep patterns are all screwy because it's always nighttime on planet Alicia. I sleep when I'm tired. Been chatting with Nancy till about 15 minutes ago. Bobby, about what? Alicia, you. Bobby, what about me? Alicia, none of your business. Bobby, my imagination runs wild. Alicia, that's your problem. Bobby, so did you talk to your dad tonight? Alicia, yep. Said he stopped and saw you and your parents. Said he made some progress with the information. The dates, stuff about solar particles, right? So that's good. Bobby, is it? Sounded bad to me. Sounds like years of research to me. Years. Alicia, years don't scare me much anymore. Bobby, all hail the great philosopher. Alicia, I'm ignoring that. Why so grim? Bobby, because I'm back where I was, only worse because there's no hope. Alicia, no hope? How do you figure? Bobby, you heard your dad. He thinks maybe we know the cause, but that's not the cure. If he's right about the cause, we could zap a cat or a dog or something right now, or you. Want to get invisible? I'll bring my blankie over. Turn on the juice and let her rip. Alicia, what are you talking about? Bobby, right now there's a big solar event. Just check the website. Big high-energy particle shower. So we grab a black lab, put him in the blanket, turn on the power, and zap. You could be the first blind kid on your block to have an invisible seeing eye dog. Cool, huh? Alicia, more like sick. How about you wrap yourself up and disappear completely for a while? Do us all a favor. Bobby, naughty, naughty. Don't fight sarcasm with sarcasm. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Alicia, but do 3 rights make a left? Bobby, very deep. I hear the sound of one hand clapping. Bobby, you still there? Bobby, Alicia? Alicia, still here. I'm thinking. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 negatives make a positive, right? Like in English? I'm not gonna go. I'm not going means I'm going. I'm not going means I'm going, right? Oh, Bobby. And your point is? Alicia. In math, you multiply a negative number by a negative number and you get a positive number, right? Bobby. Still waiting for the point. Alicia. Go turn on the blanket and take a particle bath. You can't get more invisible. Maybe it'll be just like two negatives make a positive. That's the point, smarty pants. Bobby. Right. Like I'm just going to go turn it on and see what happens? Alicia. You're the one whining about being so hopeless. Here's some hope. What do you have to lose? Alicia. Bobby? Alicia. Bobby, answer me. Bobby. I'll get back to you. Alicia. Bobby, wait, don't. I'm sorry. Really, don't. Something could happen. Bobby. You mean something bad? Something worse than this? I don't think so. I'll call you in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Because guess what I think Alicia told him to do and then decided not to. Because of that big solar event that he saw on the computer, she's telling him get in the blanket and see if the solar thing will have an effect. But now she's worried something else bad could happen. I wonder if it's gonna work. We're getting close to the end, so this is all we got left. Maybe. See you later.